Bright lights explode across the auditorium, bouncing off the polished stage floor as Drew Lynch steps forward. Thousands of eyes stare at him, expecting a simple comedy routine, a harmless set of jokes to make the evening lighter. But nothing about Drew tonight is harmless. He walks carefully, like a man counting every step, making sure his past does not follow him too loudly. The microphone stand waits in the center, cold and metallic, ready to turn his voice into something the world will hear. For a moment, he hesitates. In that hesitation is a truth no one in the audience can detect, except one. Simon sits at the judges' panel, arms folded, shielding his expression. He has watched performers for decades, enough to know when someone is hiding behind a smile. Drew's nervous grin seems honest, almost too honest. The twitch in his voice as he introduces himself feels like more than stage fright. It sounds like a man trying to bury a memory under laughter. Simon's mind shifts, instincts waking up. There is something here. A clue disguised as charm. The audience applauds to encourage him, but their excitement only reminds Drew of everything he has run from. He grips the microphone, knuckles whitening. He begins his first joke slowly, letting the humor crawl into the room. People laugh, they laugh loudly, and relief washes over him. They bought the act. They see a comedian. Not a man with a past he hopes never catches him. He continues, using his stutter as part of the performance, twisting vulnerability into comedic rhythm. The entire auditorium softens, warmed by the courage they believe they are witnessing. But they do not see the way his eyes scan the shadows behind the cameras, checking every corner for a ghost only he expects. If she is here tonight, if she dared to return, she would be somewhere no spotlight could reach. This audition is not a dream for Drew. It is a test. A message. A signal sent to someone who once stood too close to danger with him. He performs for them, for this crowd, but his heart performs for only one person. A person whose absence has burned a hole through his life. Every punchline is shaped by the weight of what they did, the consequences neither of them fully escaped. Simon leans forward, noticing the flicker of fear that flashes, too fast for cameras, across Drew's face. He knows the look. He has seen it on people who enter his show hoping for fame, but hiding from truth. There is charm, yes, but beneath it, a tremor that does not come from stage nerves. It comes from secrets. The laughter grows louder. Drew breathes easier. Yet this performance is a balancing act, a quiet war between who he pretends to be and who he cannot erase. When the audience laughs, he feels safe. When they stop, the past steps closer. So he keeps the rhythm going, joke after joke, remembering the night that changed everything. The night that gave him the voice they adore, and the scars he will never escape. Backstage, the air feels heavy, thick with the faint smell of stage smoke and cleaning chemicals. Drew Lynch steps off the main stage, letting the applause wash over him like a tide he cannot touch. His heart is still racing, but not from nerves. There is a different kind of adrenaline pulsing through his veins, the kind that comes when the past inches closer than it has in years. In the dimly lit corridor, near the shadows of stacked equipment and forgotten props, someone waits. He knows her immediately. Aria. The woman who had once been everything and nothing all at once, his confidant, his partner, his danger. She watches him silently, her expression unreadable. There is a history in her eyes, a dark familiarity that draws him in even as it warns him away. They were lovers once, caught in a storm that neither of them could escape. A crime had bound them together and torn them apart, a robbery gone wrong, a witness who had seen too much, and a choice that left both of them changed. Drew's stutter had been amplified by trauma, a constant reminder of that night, while Aria had vanished, leaving only whispers and guilt in her wake. Now, standing there in the shadows of the AGT stage, she is a ghost from his past, alive in the flesh. Drew exhales slowly, his body tense with both longing and fear. He steps closer, but not too close, measured movements, as if every inch could trigger consequences he is not ready to face. "I didn't think you'd come," he murmurs, voice low, almost swallowed by the hum of the stage machinery. She doesn't answer. Instead, her eyes search his face, taking in the lines of stress and the flicker of hope he tries to hide. The silence between them is heavy with unspoken words, each one loaded with memory and regret. This is more than a reunion. This is a code, a message hidden in plain sight. Every laugh he drew from the audience, every moment of applause, was a signal meant only for her. "I'm still here," he wants to say. "I haven't forgotten. I haven't given up." His performance was a confession in disguise, a map of feelings and warnings crafted for someone who understands. Arya steps closer, the faintest smile flickering across her lips, and for a moment the world shrinks to the narrow hallway, the two of them, and the ghosts that trail them both. Simon, somewhere in the audience, senses the tension even from afar. Something is different about this performance, something deeper than skill or courage. He has learned to read between the lines, to see when entertainment hides a story that is dangerous, complicated, and real. He leans forward, noting the subtle glances, the way Drew's energy is divided, part performer, part man sending silent messages to a shadow only he can see. Drew steps back, feeling the electricity of the moment. Every joke, every pause, every laugh has been a thread connecting him to Arya, a lifeline into the past he cannot rewrite. Tonight is not just about talent. It is about survival, about confession, and about love twisted by circumstances neither could control. And in the dark corners behind the stage, Arya finally lets herself hope that he means what he is saying, even if the world, and the law, may never allow them to be together. The performance ends. The applause roars through the arena, a tidal wave of admiration and excitement. On stage, Drew Lynch bows, chest heaving, sweat dampening his hair. To the crowd, he is a hero, a survivor, a comedian who turned vulnerability into triumph. But behind the glittering smiles and flashing cameras, reality waits. Simon leans forward in his chair, eyes narrowing. Something about this performance doesn't just entertain, it signals. Every nuance, every glance, every laugh is a breadcrumb, and Simon, trained to notice the unsaid, recognizes the pattern. Drew doesn't see Simon's scrutiny. His attention is fixed on the shadows at the edge of the stage, where he knows Arya watches. The golden confetti begins to fall as Simon slams the golden buzzer, and the arena erupts. Everyone sees a celebration, a victory, a life-changing moment. Drew smiles broadly, letting the confetti coat him like snow, but beneath the joy, tension coils tightly. This is not just a career triumph, it is a statement, a warning, a promise. He whispers into the swirling gold, "I'm still here. I haven't let go." Backstage, Arya steps closer, her heart racing. She is part relief, part fear. The world does not understand what she knows. Drew's success tonight is not purely about talent, it is about survival. The crime that shaped them both still casts long shadows, and the law, the witnesses, the past mistakes, are not done with them. Yet in this moment, for a brief, suspended heartbeat, they are connected again. Every laugh he drew from the audience, every tear, every cheer, is a tether pulling them together in a world designed to keep them apart. Simon's gaze remains fixed on Drew. He smiles at the cameras, congratulating him, yet his mind is elsewhere. Somewhere in the golden confetti, in the applause, he sees the undercurrent, a red flag, a clue, a story that has yet to be fully told. Quietly, he slides a red CID folder across the table to an agent seated nearby, his eyes never leaving Drew. The file contains names, dates, and incidents, arcs of danger intertwined with love, a map of risk that only a trained investigator could trace. The public sees only a golden moment, Simon sees a case unfolding in real time. Drew's breathing slows, chest rising and falling, but the weight of the past lingers. He kneels briefly on the stage, overwhelmed by joy, longing, and the shadow of everything unresolved. He glances toward the audience, eyes locking with areas for a heartbeat that feels eternal. They do not speak, but a universe of emotion passes between them, love, regret, fear, and hope wrapped into one fragile moment. The cameras pan back to Simon, who stands, applauding along with everyone else, his expression calm yet knowing. The investigation has only just begun. Tonight, love has returned, danger is near, and the line between performance and confession has blurred. In this room of flashing lights and roaring applause, one truth is clear: some stories are too dark to stay hidden, and some love is too dangerous to forget.